Welcome to Selfish Confidence, a place where we can connect and be real about how hard it is to be your damn self. My name is Jess, and my goal is to help you build confidence and belief in yourself to live any life path you want, even if it's unconventional. It's time to flip off societal pressures and connect with women who've also felt on the outside by their life choices. We're here to encourage you to grab the mic and speak your truth. I know it can be scary, but we're in this together. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Selfish Confidence Podcast. It's Jess here, and if you are listening to this and you're like, you sound a little different, Jess, or maybe you're watching this online, you're like, you look a little different, it is because I am in Cincinnati visiting my friend Diana for her retreat. She had asked me a long time ago if I wanted to be a part of her retreat, and I wanted to come up and talk about human design, and I'm not the best planner. I don't always plan things out super far in advance. So when she asked, I was like, hells yeah, let's go. That sounds so fun. Even knowing at that point it was going to be a couple weeks before Speak Up. But now, here we are. I can't believe it's actually here, because now that we're here, it also means that Speak Up is essentially here. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, and it's your first time listening to this podcast, welcome. So glad you're here. But Speak Up is my personal development event, my women's empowerment event that I have coming up on October 5th and 6th in Halifax, Nova Scotia, for 100 women to come in and just be like, hey, I'm here, loud and proud, love me, baby. And I'm just so excited for that to come. But also, it's really nice to be traveling, and probably traveling by plane for the last time before having a baby, which also blows my mind. I am someone who travels a lot for events like this, for conferences, to speak at things, to, I don't know, just explore and live life and enjoy things. And it just feels a little weird that this might be my last time on a plane for a while. Like, I don't know. It just feels really like a really strange feeling, like your life is about to change, but you're so far away from that big change that you've been flowing with it. And that's kind of what I've been doing and what I wanted to talk to you about today. A couple things I have on my list that I was just thinking about, the lessons that can come from traveling and the lessons that can come from doing what's on your heart and what's on your mind. And I'm feeling that a lot as we step into this season of planning this big event, not even planning it, executing it at this point, traveling for the last time before my life totally changes, and staying calm in some of these seasons where you do not know what the outcome is. Like, I do not know what the end point is going to look like, both for Speak Up and for my own personal life, like having a baby. Like, I do not know what life with a baby looks like, and so I'm really trying to lean into this season of flow and being a little bit more relaxed and releasing the grip that I have on things, that they need to be perfect. And this morning I was just chatting with a girlfriend who we have the same oracle card deck, and in this deck there is a card that, like, I don't want to say it taunts me, but like I pull it several times a week, and when I get a card that I pull frequently, I'm like, okay, like, what is it? Like, what are you trying to teach me? What is the answer? And I don't know. I still don't know. So the card is called Trust the Niggle, and it's about trusting the choices that you're making, trusting that voice inside your head that's telling you to do something, like to go after it. And in this season that I'm in, I'm like, I'm doing the things, right? I'm planning this massive event. I'm traveling to speak. I am, having a baby. I got pregnant. Like, I'm doing the things, right? And I keep getting this card to trust the niggle. And my girlfriend was like, Jess, maybe it's just like, you're doing the things. Good job. Like, keep going. You're doing it. You're listening. But I don't know why I always think there's something more. There's something deeper. And I question a lot if I'm doing the right thing, if I'm going on the right path. And I think a lot of us do that in so many different scenarios, right? Whether that's business or your job or life or just your regular day-to-day things. Like, I see all the signs, and I'm a person who really keeps my eye open to see things, almost to a fault, right? Always looking for an external validation that I'm on the right path. And if only we could trust that niggle like Niggle. I don't know why that's what's the card, but trust the niggle. It's just that like nagging feeling, right? And if I could only just trust it and know that we're on the right path and just intuitively be guided in that direction, I think it would make a really big difference. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, I have it all figured out. These are my 5 steps to trust the niggle. That is not it at all. Because I do trust and I do see and I keep my eyes open. But there is still always this yearning for validation, right? And we often see it in other people. And it's another thing that I really wanted to talk to you about today is not only like trusting your own intuition and trusting your path and navigating how to do that, because we just overcomplicate and doubt and put all of these things that we could never know. We could never know the answers, right? Everybody else knows the answers. We don't. And where this week I'm talking all about human design at this retreat, it comes back sometimes to this open crown center, and I'm not going to get too far into it, but like the top of your head, if it's open, we often get our ideas and our thoughts sometimes from other people, the people who have it defined, from the people who are around us, and we can always think that other people know better. They know the answers because mine is open and I'm getting my ideas from them, so they must know the answer. And the truth is, you know. Just like my girlfriend told me this morning. She's like, trust you're doing it. This is your sign that you're doing it. Like, keep going. And even needing that validation from her, it's just often that with these open crown centers, we're just always thinking everybody else can do it and know it better. But you know what you need to do. You know what you need to step into. You know what you need to trust right now. And I want you to step into that in whatever capacity you can. I often do this in really, really small ways, is just like trusting in little things. Like if my gut's telling me that I want to eat a whole chocolate cake right now, then that's what I'm gonna do. Or if I am, feeling the need for a pull for like a certain restaurant, like just going in that direction. Or when you're going on a walk, you could go on like an intuitive walk and you have no idea where you're going to end up. You just kind of keep trusting over and over again where you're going to turn, where you're going to end up, what you're going to see. And those are kind of really small ways for you to be able to trust your intuition a little bit more and almost practice like growing it more and more and more. And in this season, I feel like we need to do that more and more. Because sometimes when it comes to the big things, like planning an event for hundreds of women and traveling while pregnant and, all of these things, sometimes we need to trust in the little things more. Like, I want some gummy bears. I literally ate a handful of gummy bears before I record this podcast because your girl needs some sugar. Duh. But like really leaning into these small things can make a big difference when the big things come up and you can trust more. And maybe you're seeing a sign over and over and over again. And I think it is just that truth to trust and believe that you know what's best. You know where you need to go. You don't need this external validation. You don't need to bring it to the table for everybody to vote on. You know. And you can really step into that today by just trying to shift your mindset on it a little bit. Just a little tiny bit. And one thing I also do with this is I feel like this is chaotic, but that's just the season that we're in. When I hear it or when I feel it, I just affirm it. Like I'll answer to myself. I talk to myself all the time. We know that. But I'll just affirm it and be like, I see you, I hear you. You're doing the right thing. You know what you're doing. Keep going. Instead of that automatic instinct that we have to say, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know the step I need to take. I don't know anything. I have to ask this person, this person, this person. Just lean it back into yourself a little bit. Like, what is one step that I can take that I know is safe for me to take right now? And follow that, because you know. And if I didn't trust that voice or that niggle over and over again, I wouldn't be planning an event for women right now. And I wouldn't be sitting in my friend Diana's guest room right now, getting ready for her retreat. And I wouldn't be pregnant. That is for sure. And those are some really big things that can be really scary to trust and know that you're on the right path, but sometimes you just gotta go big. So maybe today you're in a season where you can take things small and slow, or maybe you're feeling like it's time for you to take a big freaking leap. Then take a big freaking leap. Maybe it's to buy your ticket to come to Speak Up. Maybe you've been listening to this podcast for so long and you're like, okay, Jess, you're 2 weeks out. There's only about a few days left that I can get my ticket, and I have this nagging feeling in my stomach that I need to be there. Then I want you to get the ticket. I want you to be there. I want you to send me a message and be like, okay, I'm trusting Jess. I'm going to be there. Because I have had that nagging feeling with a lot of events, and those events changed my life. I wouldn't be sitting here and doing a retreat for someone this weekend had I not trusted that nagging feeling to get to an event. And at that point, there was 2 events that I was looking at, and I had to lean into the one that felt more aligned. And when I did that, it brought me here, and it brought me to this person who's now hosting a retreat, who has invited me to come down and to speak at it. And it all comes from trusting that intuition, trusting that hit to get into some of these rooms, because the connections that happen in these rooms are going to blow your mind. These are not only the people who are going to help you to start to believe in yourself and to trust that more, but they're also the people who are going to get you that one step further. They're the people who are going to push you to start a podcast. They're going to be the people who push you to keep going. They're going to be the people who are just there when you need a reminder that even though it's hard, it's going to be worth it. And they're going to push you. They're going to push you beyond your comfort zone in the best way possible. And that's what's got me here 3 years later, still podcasting, still being a part of this community, still on this journey of navigating business and life and figuring things out. And one of the things that has stopped me along the way to even question things is the comparison game. And I wrote down that I really wanted to talk about that today because I was doing that also this week. Lessons from Jess. All the things that Jess does that you shouldn't. Do as I say, not as I do. No, honestly, I want to be really transparent with you because I don't want you to put me on a pedestal as someone who's hosting these events and traveling and speaking and think that I don't have these thoughts too, that I don't have these feelings and fears around all of these things in my life too. Because I do, and I think it's normal for so many of us. And if you have people that you're following online who you think don't have these thoughts, or you think have it all together, or are making so much money in their business that you could never do what they're doing, there's a good chance that it's a lie. Social media is a lie. It's all about perception, right? And I was meeting with a girlfriend this week, and we were just going out for a walk and talking things, and I found myself getting in my head about comparing myself on where my journey is, where I am in this season, to where she is and what she's doing. And she's doing some beautiful and massive things that I'm so excited for her. And as we were talking, I was just like, wow, like, she's doing it. She's stepping into this, and she's following her heart, and she's trusting the Niggle, and she's doing all of the stuff that, you know, I'm doing too. But she's making more money at it, and you know, all of these things, right? You get so caught up. And a big one for me can be like the financial piece, the money piece that comes with business and with life, and the comparison, right? She's successful because she made XYZ in her business, right? And that's one that I can really get stuck in the comparison game. And as I was walking with her and we were talking a bit more, there was a total flip in the conversation, and she shared something with me when it came to her finances and her business that was just a reminder in these moments when we're comparing other people's success to something in particular, something that we see as high value, right? That it's not always what we think. They have struggles and they have difficulties too. And I'm not going to say, I'm be like, oh yeah, she's got struggles and that made me feel better. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it reminded me that when we put these people on pedestals, when we look at people who are doing certain things in their life and we're just like, oh my gosh, I could never do that. They have things too. They have doubts. They have fears. They have, you know, struggles in their life and in their business too that they're not showing you and they're not sharing with you. And I just wish we could talk about these things more. I'm really, really grateful for the friendships that I have, that people feel safe to be able to share their real life with me. And I think I built a business and a friendship with a lot of people who feel safe to do that with me, like non-judgmental. And it helps me to see all sides of people, but we don't always get to see that on social media. So if you're doing that right now and you're in a comparison game, maybe it's a weight loss journey and somebody else has, had more success than you have. You don't see what's going on behind the posts, right? You don't see what's going on behind closed doors. All you can see is the wins. All you can see is the big things. And the same thing with Speak Up, right? All you see is the stage and the amazing decorations and the beautiful speakers and this massive, beautiful boat that we're going to be taking for a VIP night. All you see is that. You don't see the emails and the no's and the, all of the different things that come from behind that. And I know this event is going to be mind-blowingly magical. Like, if I didn't believe that, I wouldn't be putting it on. But there are so many things behind the scenes that can make this really hard to complete. Even when we're 2 weeks out, it can make it really, really hard to complete. My watch is going off. It's like, check your heart rate, girl. Because it can be a lot. And so if you're comparing even where you are to wanting to do big events or traveling to speak or any of these things that you see me doing, I want you to know that it takes choices, it takes really scary action, and it takes trusting that intuition more and more and more. You can do it. You can do this. If your dream is anything, whatever your dream is, I truly do believe God wouldn't have placed that on your heart had it not been the dream that's meant for you. I remember so clearly this day when I was in high school. We were in the auditorium. So we had like a theater in our school. And I remember it was like some kind of assembly. I don't even remember what. And I remember sitting in the assembly, looking at the stage. And I had this knowing that that's where I was meant to be. Not necessarily in high school, because your girl did not want to be on the stage in high school. That is for sure. I much preferred being the weirdo in the corner in high school. But I knew that speaking, public speaking of some kind, was my future. And I ignored that niggle and I went into dietetics because I liked food. But somehow it still got me here. And Glenn asked me that the other day too. He's like, do you think if you would have taken something different in university, or you would have made better grades in school, do you think you would have done XYZ? Do you think you would have gone to become a doctor? No, nobody wants me to be their doctor. But also, I'm so trusting that being a public speaker is what I'm supposed to do and where I'm supposed to be, that had I even gone to school to be a doctor, that I would have failed out of like 18 times. But, teach their own. It's not for me. But had I made better grades in school and taken a different path and maybe been influenced by friends and family to go after being a doctor or a nurse or anything like that, I think I still would have ended up here doing human design readings and speaking and having a podcast of some kind. The topic might have been different and how I'm doing it might be different, but I do truly believe with my soul I would have still ended up on a stage speaking about something. And I think where I am right now, speaking about confidence and love and empowerment, I think I would have still ended up here. And I think this is your reminder that if that's the case for you and you're questioning the path you're on, you are going to get to your destination no matter what path you take, no matter what road you go, no matter what U-turn you have to make. You're going to get there. The destination is already in the GPS. That final place is already in, God's GPS. It's just a matter of the road that you take there. For some of us, we're going to take the really long, the really hard, the really dark road. And for others, maybe it's a lighter path and it's easier for you. Maybe you knew right from the beginning. But your journey is yours, and it doesn't matter how you get there. It just matters that you trust and that you take the steps you need to take to get to your final destination. And if you're like, I don't even know what my final destination is. I just did a workshop the other day at RH Fitness, and they'll be at the Speak Up event too. And one of the people who were in the workshop was like, I don't know what the end goal is. I don't know what the job is that I want or the life is that I want. I have no idea, and it is blank. And if you feel like that and you have no idea where that final destination is, it's okay. All you have to do is take one step forward. Try something new. Go to a new gym, eat a donut, or, make a new friend, say hi to someone on the street. These small steps are going to help you to have that clarity at some point. It's probably not going to be tomorrow, and it's probably not going to be next month. It's going to take time, but the small actions are going to get you there. Getting out to workshops, getting out to events, meeting new people, looking at jobs online. See what's sparking some joy in you. Trusting those feelings when something comes up. It can be really hard when it feels like there's no feeling there and you're totally numb, but just take little tiny steps. And don't get me wrong, I'm an optimist. I'm always the person who's going to believe that there is going to be a better way and a better outcome and light at the end of the tunnel. And if you're not feeling like that right now, I'm sending you a big old hug and a big old kiss, because it's hard. It's hard when you can't see that final destination. And I'm kind of in that now too, because the final destination is really blurry, just because I can't visualize what life is going to look like 6 months from now. And it can be hard. But what we can do is trust that niggle. I cannot with it. I don't know. Trust that intuition, trust that feeling, and move in that direction that is starting to feel aligned. Is starting to feel like the place you're supposed to go, even if it's a place you never ever thought you'd go, like me in this journey of motherhood, right? So just take a deep breath, take a step, big one, small one, you choose. Get your ticket to Speak Up. You have a few days left to get your ticket and get in this room, because I know it's going to give you enlightenment and clarity in a way that you maybe have not seen in a long time. So I love you so much. I will put all the information for you to be able to get your Speak Up ticket in the show notes. But if you're feeling something, take a step, take a leap, or even just send me a DM, send me a message and be like, you know what? I'm trusting, girl. I'm trusting. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'm thinking of you. I'm sending all my love your way.
What's up, sis? I am so glad we could hang out today. If you love this episode, send it to a friend or share it on your social media and tag me so I can personally thank you for helping me sprinkle some confidence in the world. And don't forget, you are magic. Let's show the world your shine.